Anyway, so 10 reasons that you should meal prep, meal plan. So what we're talking about is just basically thinking about the food that you're going to have the week ahead, and either planning to batch cook it on one day a week, or at least planning the food you're going to have so that when you go shopping, you know exactly what it is you're going to buy. And there's that's within the 10 reasons here. So let's get started on the reasons there. So number one, it saves you time. When you plan your food, so much mental energy and physical time goes into food, goes into planning it, prepping it, thinking about it. Sometimes it just dominates, especially when everyone's at home all the time, like right now. It seems to be literally clearing up, having one meal and then thinking about clearing up, and then you're almost planning the next meal. It just seems to be so much time in the kitchen at the moment. It takes up so much time and mental energy. So when you've planned, and especially if you manage to prep and done some bulk prep in advance, it takes so much of that mental and actual time out of your day when you're thinking about food. And it does actually. So number two, it saves you money. So when you've planned what you're going to eat for the week, there's less chance when you go shopping to sort of impulse buy things. And and if you're going to cook in bulk, if you're going to do a batch cook, buying in bulk is generally cheaper over the long run than just buying things as you go. Certainly for me, I mean, we're very lucky. We've got a butcher's down the road and a lovely booze supermarket. But things do get quite expensive if I just kind of wing it and end up diving into the butcher several times a week to pick up things. So I try to, buy things in bulk from the supermarket, depending on what it is I'm buying, obviously. Right, so number three, planning your food tends to be a lot healthier. When we plan what we're going to eat for the week, we tend to plan healthier, better foods, more vegetables, more baking things, rather than just maybe throwing pre-prep stuff in the microwave, or packaged meals in the oven, or pies and things that have all been bought in advance. So generally, when we plan our meals, when we prep our meals in advance, we tend to eat a lot healthier, which obviously is very good for our waistlines. And currently at the moment, I know that people are suffering from perhaps not eating so healthy, even though we've got potentially more time at the moment. There is more access to food a lot of the time. So make sure that what you are eating is healthier for you. And I've got a ton of recipes we can talk about. Healthier food, and generally when you're batch cooking or you're planning ahead, it improves your cooking skills, because you are trying to try some new recipes, thinking about more about what you're eating, and following recipes is great for improving your skills. And generally when you find things you like and you cook it again and again, you become really proficient in the kitchen. If you start simple, before you know it, you'll be whipping up all sorts of crazy food. It's brilliant. And generally, when you meal prep and plan, you develop a better relationship with food. Sometimes, the relationship we have with food, the language we use around food, with food being good or bad, or healthy or unhealthy, that relationship with food is very, very important in life, but it's certainly in weight loss as well, as how we see food. So when we're cooking it from scratch, when we're cooking it in batch, when we can see how food is put together, when we recognize all the ingredients that's going into a meal that we're preparing, we just develop a better, healthier, more intelligent relationship with food. So when you prep as well, or when you've planned your food, especially not so relevant for a lot of people at the moment, but certainly the people that are working and will be going back to work, hopefully, as we transition outside of lockdown. If you've planned something, if you've got it in the slow cooker, or you've batched it and it's in the freezer and you take it out, and you've got food to come home to. And again, this is another part of the whole energy saving, mental anguish of the food. If you've planned something, you've prepared it, if you've cooked it in advance, you know what you're going to have. So when you finish your day, if you know you're going to have a late day, you've got something out the freezer already, or you put it in the slow cooker in the morning, you've got food to come home to. And that is just such a lovely feeling when you walk in the door, if you can smell something cooking, or that you've got something defrosting in the fridge, and it's all you have to do is bang it in the oven or whatever when you get home. So that is definitely a big reason in my book why prepping and planning your food is definitely the way to go. Certainly if you have a family, or even just if you have kids, but even your wider family, if you're prepping and planning food, that's really inspiring and motivating and setting a really good example to people. So especially for your kids, you're setting a really good example by having that healthy relationship with food, prepping in advance, planning it in advance, and getting them involved in it. And also for your wider friends and family as well. When they see you bossing the kitchen, doing all this stuff, then they'll definitely be inspired and motivated to perhaps take on some of those good habits themselves. Less food wastage. So we're on number 8. When you've planned and prepped your meals, you tend to throw away less food. So if we're just kind of throwing things together last minute and we're just kind of, wanging it all in, quite often we end up with a lot of waste. I certainly do. If I'm just, throwing in a load of pasta last minute or something or whatever, we end up not eating it all. So definitely less food waste when you've planned it and prepped it properly. I can't wait for the opticians to open. My glasses, someone pointed this out to me the other day. They've gone a bit loose and they just keep falling forwards. And I didn't realise quite how many times I'm propping them back on my nose. And she made me aware of it on these broadcasts, and I now realise they do it all the time. Anyway, so when you've got a plan of what food you're going to have for the week, it makes food shopping easier. Now I introduce you to this shopping list that you get in the meal recipe guides that I've got at the moment. But even writing your own shopping list, it does make food shopping easy because you're not walking around the aisles going, oh, what we're going to have this week? Oh yeah, I could buy that. I could buy we could do that. Oh, I could probably do something with that. And I hold my hand up there. I do that all the time. Trying to mentally plan my week's food as I'm walking around the supermarket. And you feel like when you take time in your day to sit down and prep write down what you're going to have for the week, look at recipe guides, write a food list, it seems like it's taking time out of your day when actually, taking that time to plan and prep will save you time. And it does make shopping so much easier that you haven't got that mental kind of walk around the aisles. And sometimes, I don't know about you, but I end up sort of staring off into space thinking, oh, what we're going to have this week? Oh, we can have that and that. And it that anguish of shopping is bad enough, especially at the moment when you're having to queue to get in the supermarket in the first place. And finally, having a food plan, having prepared some food in advance, it just reduces our stress levels. It's the stress around food, the stress around preparing food, knowing what to give the family, that energy and that negative energy it can cause in ourselves, and create that kind of stress. Yeah, it just reduces stress. So, that's a big one in my book as well. That say with shopping, as you're going around the aisles, that stress you feel as you're trying to think about what to do. So yeah, definitely having a food plan, having done some preparation, will definitely reduce your stress levels, and we all need to reduce our stress levels in our life. So I hope those top 10 tips are helpful to you. I will write them down and put them into some sort of blog format or even a little video format just to give you some inspiration. In the meantime, yes, I'm releasing my 3 new recipe packs this week. Low carb, high protein and plant-based. There's there's a huge amount of recipes in them. There's like 40 in one of them and 50 in another one, 58 in one of the other recipe guides. And they all come with shopping lists. They all come with the food planner. So it's all good stuff. Anyway, that's it for me for today. I hope you've enjoyed today's Nutrition Tuesday. Don't forget, if you have any questions, anything you want to talk to me about, any nutrition woes, questions, problems, ideas, anything you're struggling with, then please do give me a shout. If you've got inspiration for what to cook, or you're wondering if your nutrition's suffering in any way that you're concerned about, then give me a shout and I can answer those questions for you on next week's Nutrition Tuesday, or post them in the group and we'll get to them. I get into the group at least once a day and hopefully help people answer their questions around nutrition, movement and exercise. Mindset, nutrition, movement and mindset. I'll get my own strapline right one day. See you then. Toodaloo.